by special request from Cindy. A video request. Hey y'all, APG Jamie here. And Cindy had asked how I did if I would do a how-to video for the layered leaves that I did in, I believe it was the March You Need to Hear This series. I'll link that below. And first I need to make some fancy paper, okay, so we can use those layered leaf die cuts from the Sizzix folks. And I've got 3 colors. Oh, there's a list of ingredients in the description below. Don't you know? And this is a piece of cardstock that I tested out some stamps from the Dollar Tree during a live video. I don't know when. And I thought, well, let's just go ahead and use that because, you know, the way we're going to be using this die cut, it's just background noise, which adds a little bit of visual texture to the finished leaves, which you'll see, which you might have saw in the thumbnail, okay? So I had spritzed the back of this cardstock, well, what I'm deeming as the back, with water so that it will lay flat, and then we spritz the top to help make sure it's laying flat. This is pretty wet, y'all. We sprinkled on a couple different, we're using 3 different colors and spritzing more with water. It's pretty wet, y'all. Just saying, this is not something you can just move. Well, unless you can move your whole surface that you have it laying on. I have it laying on some silicone mat, okay? It's pretty wet, y'all. And as a matter of fact, it's so wet, I take another piece of scrap cardstock at some point. Oh, there it is. And we're just going to dabble up some of the water and some of the color because, you know, it's fine, y'all. Sometimes with the Magicals, the little powder is not real powderized. It's kind of almost clumpy, but it's teeny tiny clumps. And this I just do this sometimes to help break up some of the little clumps, okay? And hickin', y'all, because we dried it. We let it dry for a while. And then on the back, I noticed that part. I thought, well, I really like that part. So we're just going to set that aside and use that for another time because you can do that. So we're back to our now smaller piece of cardstock. And this is some Vicki Boutin stencils I got with an order from scrapbook.com, I believe it was. They were free. Anyway, it's using those with some archival ink, which once the lindys is dry, it's permanent. And it's archival ink, which is permanent. And we're using just a couple of those stencils with, I believe it's rose madder and sunflower color ink. Pink and yellow, y'all. And you can make your leaves or flowers or anything any color you want to. You have permission to do so, okay? So that's what we're doing. I am just kind of repeating some of the colors of the Magicals that we had back there. Although we didn't have pink. We had purple. It's close. Not really, but, you know, makes me happy. So here's our die set. This die set comes with an outer leaf shape that you can use by itself. And it comes with the inner veining shape that you can use by itself. Okay? Now, the layers, you assemble this, think puzzle, okay, think puzzle. Now, I'm not going to show you the actual die cutting, but I'm going to show you where I am taping my dies with cutting edge down. I will use a magnetic plate, which that's the reason I'm using the washi tape is because I flipped them upside down so the cutting, you know, plate. Anyway, so we're going to cut these separate, and you can use them separate, and then in a little bit we will cut them together I was not as careful when I was cutting them together as I might have should have been. But we'll get to that in an hour or two. It's not that long of a video. So here's my magnetic plate and this piece. See, you end up with something like that you can use. I did not use it this time, but you could use it. Now, when you're taking the veining sections out, you do want to be careful because you don't want to tear your paper or cardstock, as the case may be. And this can be pretty tedious. Okay? Punch out all the little loose pieces. All the little loose pieces. This is the insides of the leaf shapes, okay? See? Puzzling. And we'll do this for the next 2 days. Well, not really that long, but you know, takes a hot minute. How long did it take? Well, actually, I guess it maybe only took about 10 minutes to pop all these out. Probably. See, that's a solid leaf shape, which you can use these dies as a solid leaf. It's perfectly a-okay to do that, y'all. I do believe they are intended to be layered. So, whatever color you want. All right? Don't worry about the unusual visual texture there. Don't worry about that. You probably mostly won't even notice it. So we picked all that out, and now I'm going to do a solid, just the leaf outline shape. Oh, no, I'm doing the whole thing. I'm doing the veins and the leaf outline shape. And this is where you want to more or less get your veining, the center parts, pretty well centered up in the solid leaf shape. Okay? I hope I'm not being overly confusing. I know I can be sometimes. Again, the cutting edge in this case is up, and I am just taping my cardstock on top. It's just black cardstock, y'all. It's actually a scrap, as you can see. Well, it's a big scrap, but now it's even more scrappy. And we're going to pop that out. Oh, that one didn't quite get cut right there for whatever reason. My thing is getting a little older. My presser, Big Shot. Give me an hour and I'll think of the name of it. So I'm trying to pull that, sliding it off the magnet. Yeah. Okay. Being careful. You want to be careful. See, now we have just an outline of the outside of the leaf. See? You lay it on there. Isn't it pretty? Yeah. And then this one has the inner veining pieces. They're black. Well, you can see that. I didn't have to explain that. I don't even know why I said that. So we're going to pick these for the next 2 days. No, I'm just exaggerating that, y'all. It really doesn't take that long. So it does take a minute. You do need to take your time and be careful. This is in hyperspeed. It may not look like it, but it's been sped up. Okay, see, that's just the outside veining when you cut both at the same time. Okay. You get the actual outside leaf shape. When you cut just the veining section, you get the puzzle pieces. This way you get an outside leaf shape and the inside puzzle pieces. Okay. And you can, cut this in whatever coordinating, matchy-match colors you want to. There's no law on it, y'all. I am happy I do like these. They are a little fiddly and they do take a minute. But, I think the results are pretty much worth it. All right. Now, doing these up in advance is, worthwhile. It gives, you want to go out there and you want to work in your space, but you don't have anything in particular you want to do. This is one of those kind of projects to do. It's like molding paper clay. because you're going to use it at some point. I do advise to pre-lay out your little puzzle pieces. Oh, that's the outside shape just in the black. And this way you can more or less get them where they need to sort of go. Okay, just line them up. And that's the outside veining. And we're going to glue that down. I am using art glitter glue because it has such a fine tip point on there, and I like it. It's my second favorite. You know, we've talked about this before. And you do want to take your time. And tweezers, I do advise tweezers because they're a little thinner than my fingers. Okay? And you can just smoosh it around. Ta-da! Isn't that pretty? See, even the back looks good on that one. So, yeah. Now we're going to do the puzzly pieces. I've already lined them out so I know kind of where they need to go. And just putting our glue on there. And you can use a Xyron or a sticky back before you even die cut out your pieces. It's perfectly fine too. I just choose to do it this way because sometimes I'm old-fashioned about some stuff. I don't know why. I'm just making sure which way that piece needs to go in there by holding it over the other leaf. And it doesn't have to be exact because nobody's going to be able to tell. You don't even have to put all the pieces back in there if you don't want to. I'm just looking at it. I'm like, yeah, trying to decide where I want it. And some of these are little dainty, tiny pieces, okay? Some of them. And I choose to do the puzzly piece because I like how it looks. I'm like, oh, let me get this piece the correct puzzle piece way around. Glue the back. Stick it down more or less where it needs to go. And there you go. They look similar, but they're a little different because one is done with just the outside veinings, black piece. The other one is the puzzle pieces inside. Now we're going to take the inside veining pieces, okay, puzzle pieces, inside puzzle pieces, and we're going to lay on the solid outline leaf. And we're going to glue those on. It is a lot of the same thing. And yeah, I find it somewhat meditative. I don't find it tedious like some people would. I mean, you know, this could be considered pretty tedious work because, you know, you're fiddling around with little tiny pieces and tweezers and little lines of glue and, you know, that kind of thing. So, and all the leaves are essentially going to be done the exact same way. You're not necessarily going to see me do all the leaves, but I do all of them. And yeah, I like them. I really like them with the black. It would probably be pretty in a really dark green or brown. I mean, you know, your imagination is your limitation, y'all. Well, maybe your dexterity too in this case, but you know. And you can kind of squish them around a little bit. Well, the art glitter glue is pretty fast grab, so, you know. And I've sped it up even more faster because it is the same. Wash, rinse, repeat. And again, I do advise you to lay out your puzzly pieces before you start gluing so you can get an idea of where they are need to go. And I hope this answers some of Cindy's questions. And if you are there, Cindy, and you have more questions, please feel free to ask. I will try my best to answer them, guy. Okay. So, yeah. And what's coming up next? Maybe the little, it's the little flip-flop part. See? Just going to line them all out. See, if you line up your veining piece with your solid outline leaf, you get better edges. You know, some of my edges are a little chunkier and skinnier than others, but that's okay. I think it adds to the charm. That's me, okay? I'm pretty happy with this. That's the outside solid leaf. And the outside solid leaf and the little inside veining, aka puzzle making piece. That's the die set. Ta-da! Short photo montage. I appreciate all of y'all's time spending it with me, y'all. Doing some happy art. Like, share, comment, kind comment. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, please. Thanks for watching and happy arting, y'all. Life is puzzling.